So as soon as the patient comes in, we do the initial intake, which is the consultation. So we ask them, go through a few questions, talk about what their primary concern is, and then what their history is in terms of पिछले 10 साल में क्या हुआ, were there any traumas, did you go through any periods of mental stress, what is your nutrition like. So we talk a lot about basically their lifestyle, and then then you go through the exam, in which I do a spinal exam to check for what we call, chiropractors call the vertebral subluxation complex, which is areas where the spine is misaligned. And then uske baad, once the exam is complete, we come back and I talk the patient through what is called a report of findings, where I explain to them कि भाई ये मसले हैं अभी जो मुझे मिले आपके spine से, and these then I connect to the symptoms that they've been having. Going to a chiropractor for pain and dysfunction is a very small part of a bigger picture. Chiropractic doesn't just help you get back on track in terms of functionality, it helps you live a better life, a more optimal way of being. My patients have been coming in for a while and they're coming in for maintenance. Usually we joke about this quite a bit, where we talk about life before chiropractic and life after chiropractic. Because as soon as you get that first adjustment and you get off the table, your senses are just way more heightened. And I always ask them, I'm like, you can see brighter, can't you? And they're like, yes. And I'm like, you feel lighter, don't you? Yes. So in order to understand brain-body communication, you have to understand that 80% of the communication between the brain and the body is coming from the body to the brain, and 20% is down from the brain to the rest of the body. तो जब आपकी 80% आपके receptors pain की stimulation ही भेज रहे हैं, your brain at that point adapts to that stimulation, and what it does is that it makes those centers bigger, so they overshadow all the other centers. What it does, the brain then says, okay, I'm sick of this, and what it does is it shuts down those areas where the person has pain, so the person then goes into dysfunction.
So regular yoga primarily focuses on flexibility, improving your overall health through making you more flexible. DDPY incorporates traditional yoga. It adds in strength training, as in the traditional calisthenics, sports rehab, as he was an athlete, a wrestler formerly, so he had a lot of injuries which needed to be rehabilitated. That aspect of it comes in, as well as active breathing methods. So DDP yoga is for everyone. There is no particular person who should be doing it or who should not be doing it. If you're looking to rehabilitate yourself, if you're looking to come back from an injury, DDPY is great. So then DDPY yoga has helped a lot of people, common people as well as athletes, revolutionize their lives, take back control of their lives. One of the greatest success stories, I believe, is an individual by the name of Arthur Borman, who was a former Navy SEAL. He was a paratrooper during his deployment. He'd injured his knees. He was on crutches. He, of course, I think discovered DDPY through Google. Started off on his method, and is now, I think it's been 15 years, he's been completely crutch-free. He's dropped a lot of weight, I think over 200 pounds, and he's extremely active. He's one of the greatest advertisements for this particular program there is. I would encourage you to go onto YouTube and Google Arthur Borman. Another great success story from DDPY is Jake the Snake Roberts. He was a former wrestler. He'd fallen off the wagon for a while. DDPY rehabilitated him, helped him lose his weight, helped him with his knee issues, with his back issues. There's a great movie called The Resurrection of Jake the Snake Roberts, which if you're interested, it's available on YouTube, I believe. You can go look it up and see how he went through the whole process of DDPY in order to completely revolutionize his life, and is living a great life now.
It's one of the best forms of functional training. So in the gym, you're doing repetitive exercises that don't always translate into better health in your everyday activities. Whereas it's full body integration when you're talking about Pilates that help you to function better in your everyday life. As a Pilates, yoga, and breathing instructor, I can kind of bring these modalities in together to give like an optimal experience. I do a full postural assessment, a dynamic assessment. I take a full history so that whatever program we decide on will be specific to the client's need. Is that also working with a chiropractor and a physiotherapist gives me that clinical support for people that are undergoing rehabilitation. And also then I give a tailor-made program that you can do in the comfort of your own home. Having a full consultation so that the client can put all their needs and all their concerns in front of me, and then we can take those into account when we're moving. So there are a lot of people who are going through rehabilitation and are actually scared to move. And so we can go really, like I said, Pilates is all about a whole source, a whole set of regressions where we can start with the most basic movements and make sure that whatever movement we do is without pain. Once you start to feel comfortable moving again, then we can start to build strength and we can start to build in the other mobility and stability components. So we're going at the pace that is comfortable for the client.